Okay, welcome back to T-Upload TV. Thanks for joining us again. Our continuation of King Cobra Day. Myself, the average golfer, Joey the tweet on the camera, and in my hands now we have gone to the King Cobra Forged MB muscleback iron. These are very much a blade looking club, no doubt in the bag of Ricky Fowler. So if they're good enough for him, let's see how they fare for the average golfer. Okay, we're all set up and ready to go. So this is don't forget, King Cobra Forged MB, which is muscleback. Take a look at some of the pictures that we throw up in a minute too. You'll really see, hopefully from the visuals that we put up on screen, just how thin this top line is. These are scary clubs. Most golfers are going to pick these up and just put them straight back on the shelf, I think. Very thin bottom line. This is all about the better player iron, there's no doubt about it. Just purely from a confidence perspective alone, you sit that club head behind the ball and you're starting to get a little bit twitchy and realising that you've got to find centre of the club. Very compact club head, very thin top line, minimal offset, if any at all. So it's very neutral behind the ball. I always say about the clubs that I use a Mizuno club, which is very, very similar in the setup and the looks. Same shaft as what I use currently. So let's see. I mean, it's a classic blade, but like I said, it's aimed at a very small target market. Right, Joe, are we on there? Yeah, we are good. They look lovely at address. I mean, like I said, this is for somebody who's into the classic sort of blade look. Oh, that's the first one. It wasn't the best strike. It was slightly out the bottom, but it certainly felt like it. This feels like a blade, let's say, or certainly that shot felt like a blade. Yeah, 161. So considering, I'm just going to have to dry these off a bit. Yeah, I mean the strike was okay. I'm surprised it got 161, to be quite honest with you, because it definitely, just see the mark slightly out of the heel and also out of the bottom as well. So it's performed better than I thought of for the strike, but it certainly didn't feel very nice. Let's try another one. That's a much better strike. Yeah, much more out of the middle of the club head. I don't think the distance will be any greater. There you go. 173, yeah. Shows exactly what I know. So it was 173, it was 10 yards better. And it felt a lot better, but it was a case of that ball was struck out the middle. I think you're talking about real sort of low single figure golfers, and probably an obvious statement. I mean, it's a blade, and I don't know many high handicappers who are going to want to put this in their hands. Oh, it's a nice strike again. Interestingly enough, I mean, 30 degrees aloft, that's a real towering ball flight. And again, 180, I thought that went quite well. I mean, to be fair, it's gotten out some really good numbers. And I'm sounding slightly negative, I suppose. I like the feel of the club. I'm just really thinking about the sort of the amount or the minority that this is aimed for, but I suppose at the end of the day that's what this club is. It knows it's not going to be a mass-produced product. It is certainly for the better player. Let's try one more. Oh, I don't know what happened there, Joe. That was a real howler thrown in just to finish things off. I'm going to have to hit one more, I'm afraid, because that wasn't very good. 170. Yeah, it was a long way off aim. Interestingly enough, I mean, we're gonna carry on hitting, as we are doing with every club that we're testing at the moment. We'll carry on to hit sort of around 20 balls and give a fair old average. I think the assessment of this one, we'll try one more ball before I do my summary. Yeah, I could cross that. As we've seen with the last two strikes, when I got them good and when I got them out the centre, it's a lovely feeling club. When you don't, it's not so nice. And there's not that same help and support across the club face. Last one, 166. Performance wise, in terms of distance, it's been reasonably good, fairly consistent, and with some of the good ones I got, they were very good. Was the spin on the last one?
4.
So the spin rate's good as well. I mean, these are the kind of things that you're going to expect to get out of this type of club. So it does what it should do. It is aimed at a better player than me. I don't think there's enough help and support across that club head for my standard. As ever, try them yourselves. But in terms of the feel is nice when it's out the middle, but I think if you go back to one of our previous videos, there's another forged head there, far better feel and far better support. I think that's the sort of the mass product market, let's say, that they should be perhaps, or we should perhaps be considering. Anyway, stumbled through that in the end, struggled with that bit. We're all done there as far as the King Cobra muscle back. Give them a go. Comments down below. We're going to move on to the hybrids, so make sure you stick around and watch that video. If not, we'll see you next week. I struggled with that one. That was a real bodge up. I nearly had to stop recording right at the end there.